Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Originals! And for this very special episode, we will be featuring the LEGO costume Extinct Bricks Originals Megalosaurus. But before we head on with this video, I'd like to say thanks to youtube.com audio library for this awesome background music. Please also like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And to be able to support my channel, please do not skip on all the ads on all my videos. You may also like to follow me on all my social media platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LYKA. There I'll be posting some of my exclusive photos and video clips as well. So I'll see you there, everyone! The Guess This PC contest winners will be announced later on in the video, so for now, we can move on with the making of the Megalosaurus. So skipping off on the kit bashing portion, I already did the most of the sculpting on this particular figure. You can see here some changes on the neck, the head, of course, the arms, the body, and even some parts of the legs as well as that of the tail. So I wanted to share with you guys the reason why I actually made a Megalosaurus. It's because not only it is the first ever dinosaur that was discovered, it is also the first ever dinosaur that is also found here in the Philippines. And because of that, we're going to paint this Megalosaurus based off from the Philippine Maya, which is actually our former national bird. It is also known as the Pastor Montanus and is actually stripped off from its former title by Fidel V. Ramos in 1995. I think the coloration of this particular bird is really good for a dinosaur, so we're doing our interpretation on this one. So we'll need acrylics, some water, and of course a mixing bowl and some paint brushes. Okay, so let's start. So this is just a mixture of white with some yellow ochre and a little bit of brown. So we're painting this on the lower parts of the Megalosaurus, such as that of the neck, the lower body or the underbelly of this dinosaur, and including the tail and even the legs of this dinosaur. And then we're going to paint black on areas such as that of the eyeballs, going down its cheek, and then some parts of the lower jaw as well. Alright, so we're going to dry brush some white on the neck area of this particular dinosaur. It will also be the same white color that we'll be applying on the cheeks of the Megalosaurus. So don't worry if you're going to paint over the black. You can always, go back to it and paint some more black on the areas where the white touches are actually placed into. And then just touch up later. Okay, so now here is a mixture of some burnt sienna with some white and a little bit or just a drop of black to it. This will be painted on the most area of the back of the creature, some parts of the tail, and the neck. Okay, so for the top of the head, this is just burnt sienna, and we're painting that on areas where it will actually show just a little bit of touch of this color on sides and most parts of the top of the head. Okay, so we're painting the lower portions of the legs as well as the arms with this wine color. It's a mixture of the burnt sienna and some red, and then a mixture of white as well. And then yeah, we're just painting them on this creature, and then later on we'll put on some details. And now for some details. So scaling on the white areas, we'll have to have, you know, some parts of grayish to it, so that it will have to be broken somehow. So we have here just a mixture of a little bit of black and with some white, and we're dabbing in different sizes of scales on these areas. So we have here areas of the neck, some parts of the cheeks of the Megalosaurus, as well as the lower parts of the tail. Alright, so you can see here that I've already started on with the stripings of this creature. I think it's a really good touch to it, although it's not really feathered, so I decided to make stripes instead. So other than of course putting in a black stripe to it, since the sparrow or the Philippine sparrow actually is dark brown in color for some parts of the feathers to it, so we're doing that. The sparrow or Maya also has some white detailing on its feathers, so we're doing backlighting on these stripes so that it will actually stand out with the brown colors initially. Alright, so all that's left here to do would be some additional details, such as colors of the eyes, of course, teeth, insides of the mouth, and even the claws. So I'm painting the claws black, and then also painting the teeth, a mixture of white and yellow ochre, and of course the insides of the mouth as flesh pink. And that's it for the tutorial part. Now it's time for us to announce the Guess This PC contest winners! And we have 10 lucky picks. Here they are: Mikhail, Wilhelmi, Millie Das, Allan, Alucard, Miguel Philip, Rexy Bricks, Dinosaurus, Zara, and Better Games. Congratulations everyone! And now for top 10 winners!
Top 10.
Bizarre Mars,
Top 9.
Maxine Tascade,
Top 8.
Tantan Win,
Top 7.
John Elijah Galicia,
Top 6.
Mr. T-Rex,
Top
Prebnadu,
5. Top 4.
Mechanic Tiger, Fulton Todd,
Top 2.
Parkersaurus, and
Top
Mandy
1.
Amar. Congratulations everyone, and I'll see you on the next Guess This PC contest. For those of you who'd like to join, here's how. Just click on the Extinct Bricks icon and it will lead you to the Extinct Bricks homepage. And the homepage, just click on the community link and it will lead you to all my posts. Wow, a Megalosaurus. Well, let's move on with Assembrex. So here we have all the parts of the Megalosaurus. Let's count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so we have 10 parts to this one. Let's already connect the head with the lower jaw. Then let's connect this to the neck part. Let's connect to the body. And then the arms. So we have here the right arm and then the left arm. Now the legs. So we have here the legs, the left and then the right one. Okay, so the tail is actually in two parts, so let's attach the base of the tail and then the tip. Alright, so there you have it, our extinct Megalosaurus. Now it's time for us to have a closer look of the Megalosaurus figure. Yeah, so here we have our Megalosaurus on its feeding frenzy. It's actually based off from the Philippine Sparrow or the Philippine Maya Maya. It's also known as the Church Maya or the Mayang Simbahan. Probably because you see most of these birds in churches, and they even do nest on, rooftop of most of the churches here in the Philippines. Of course, Ibi here is really happy because this is the very first time that he's going to introduce a Filipino dinosaur. Well, technically, right? So, we have here our Megalosaurus eating Mr. Goat here. Well, I think it's already full. And hey, enough of that. Let's already move on with a closer look, shall we? But before that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background and history on the Megalosaurus. The Megalosaurus is the very first dinosaur to ever been discovered by scientists back in 1676 in England. Since it's the very first dinosaur being discovered, technically, there are a lot of changes that have gone or undergone this particular creature. Fossil remains in the Philippines were actually discovered by children playing and eventually was caught by Chris Carvajal, an amateur paleontologist vacationing in the area. Later on, it was confirmed by the American Museum of Natural History to be Megalosaurus. And on with the closer look. So you can see here some changes that I did for the Megalosaurus. It's very typical of the Maya or the Mayang Simbahan that we have actually called it. And you can see here the colors of the head and even that of the beak or the nose of or the snout of this particular creature. The colors of the back going towards the tail is very typical of that of the Maya colors as well. There's also a black stripe going from its eyes and towards its lower jaw. The white band on its face is also typical of that bird. I did mention earlier that I wanted to have stripes on this one, so tiger stripes that are brown. Some details are also painted on the feet of this particular creature, as well as some painting details also on the arms and the legs. As per articulation, there's also some movement on this one, although it cannot be moved on the head area because it's not a ratchet one. You can still open and close its mouth and twist its head. Also, the neck has also some articulation details or articulation movement as well. So you can actually move its head up to this one and bring it down like this, so that it can either be drinking or eating some meat on the ground. The arms will definitely have some movement also, and that of the legs. Since the tail also has two parts to it, so you can actually have more movement on this one. And that's it for the closer look of our Megalosaurus. We can now move on with the size comparisons. And of course, with the size comparisons, we'll be bringing back here EB for a size comparison of a minifigure and that of the creature itself. Okay, so comparing it with the Megalosaurus, I think it's just about the right size with that of the actual creature. You can see here. Alright, so thank you Evie for that one. We can now move on with some comparisons with some of our latest Extinct Bricks customs. This is the Extinct Bricks Deinonychus that is actually based off from the Jurassic World evolution. So this is actually a vivid skin for the Deinonychus. It has purple body and of course crest that is also red. Thank you Deinonychus. Let's now move on to the next comparison. This is actually the Megalosaurus. The Megalosaurus is actually one of my earlier customs. It has this typical head for a Megalosaurus, and the colors are actually based off from the Mattel toy line. So it's one of the earlier releases of Mattel, and I think the colors on this one is really unique. Reminds me of some species of frog here in the Philippines. And talking about earlier works, we're moving on with this one. The Allosaurus version 1, or the juvenile Allosaurus that I did way back before. So you can see here how I have actually progressed on how I do my theropods, my medium-sized theropods. Not only in terms of articulation, but also the way I actually paint them. Comparing them size-wise, I think they're just about the same size, but of course different in so many ways. Okay, so let's now move on to the next comparison. This is actually one of my favorite T-Rex versions of all time. So this is the Buck T-Rex. So the changes that I've done to this one is pretty similar to the Rexy version that I did for Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. However, the painting of this one is really one of my favorites. You can see here some gradients of green from the head, and even that of rolling down towards the mixing with the body. I'm also loving how the stripes of black are actually complementing the light colors on the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This is the Spinosaurus 2020 creation that I did before. Okay, so this particular dinosaur is a really sentimental part of what my journey on customization is. It really actually pushed me to the limit during the time that I was making this one, because it's quite hard to find a exact figure or the base figure for this one, because it's very different with that of the T-Rex, and the T-Rex legs are quite long and large, while the Spinosaurus is shorter than that of the large theropod. So this one really pushed me to the limits. Okay, so here they are all lined up for species roll call. So I know you do have several more suggestions of other theropods or other meat eaters as dinosaurs, and even non-dinosaurs. So please don't be shy and put them in the comments down below. I will be reading them up, and if I do feel that we have to include that in my collection, then definitely we will include them up. Alright? Okay, so also Ibi here would like to remind everyone that all these creatures that you see here is actually present in our Extinct Bricks playlist, so do check it out guys. And also I will be placing in the links down below for you to see and easy access. Okay, so let's start with the roll call. We have here our Extinct Bricks Allosaurus version 1. This is also the Jurassic World juvenile Allosaurus. Extinct Bricks Tyrannosaurus Rex Buck. This is the Extinct Bricks Deinonychus from Jurassic World Evolution. Extinct Bricks Megalosaurus from Mattel Toy Line. Extinct Bricks Spinosaurus 2020. And of course, the star of the show here, our Extinct Bricks Originals Megalosaurus. And that's it for this PC roll call and the size comparisons. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We can now move on with the last looks on our Megalosaurus Extinct Bricks Originals. Okay, so the name Megalosaurus actually means great lizard. It is an extinct genus of large meat-eating theropod dinosaurs of the Middle Jurassic period around 166 million years ago that live in southern England. Megalosaurus was about 6 meters long and weighs about 700 kilograms. It was a bipedal dinosaur. After 6 months of work, paleontologist John Flynn confirmed that these remains found in Palawan, Philippines were in fact a Megalosaurus. Alright, so we have 2 goats here to feed you, Mr. Megalosaurus. I hope you're happy. And that's it for our video on our Megalosaurus. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for watching, everyone. Also, please don't forget to support our other channels, Ibito Universe and The Adventures of Moira and Usher. Please watch their videos and support our channel as well by subscribing. And as we always would say here, let your inner dino brick roar! Thanks everyone!